The Elephant Man is arguably one of the most famous freak show performers there has ever been. His life has been the subject of countless books, films and theatre productions dedicated to his legacy. In today's episode of Unusual as Usual, we're going to explore the real truth behind the curious case of Joseph Merrick, aka the Elephant Man. Joseph Carey Merrick, often incorrectly called John Merrick, was born on the 5th of August 1862 in Leicestershire, England. Merrick was born healthy and had no symptoms of any disorder. However, according to an article printed in 1930 in the Leicestershire Chronicle, by the age of 2 he had developed a bony lump on his forehead, swellings on his face, and his skin began getting rough and coarse. As he grew, a noticeable difference between the size of his left and right arms also appeared, and both his feet became significantly enlarged. By the time he was 13, Merrick had left school and his stepmother had forced him to leave his home. He had difficulty finding employment, not only struggling against his deformity, but now starvation and homelessness as well. He eventually entered the Leicestershire Union Workhouse. Victorian workhouses were not friendly places. They were akin to prisons, dank and miserable, where the unemployed and the unemployable performed the most unwanted laborious tasks of the era. Over the next 4 years, his deformities worsened, and soon Merrick was unable to manually work at all. So, in 1884, aged 22, he contacted comedian Sam Torr and persuaded Torr to exhibit him as a living curiosity. Ever the showman, Torr suggested that Merrick should be billed as the Elephant Man, half elephant. And with that, Merrick's stage show was complete. The Elephant Man would explain on stage that his symptoms were the result of his mother being knocked over and frightened by a fairground elephant while she was pregnant, playing into the wrongful beliefs at the time that the emotional experiences of pregnant women could have lasting physical effects on their unborn children. Armed with this new backstory, Merrick proved to be a popular attraction, and Torr quickly realised that Merrick would need to travel to London to fully capitalise on his appearance. Tom Norman, a British showman who specialised in showcasing human oddities, hired Merrick, exhibiting him at 123 Whitechapel Road, London. It has now been transformed into a travel agent's, but at one point it was one of Norman's 13 attractions in London alone, where he displayed unique and fascinating oddities from around the world. While on exhibit here, Merrick's path crossed with Dr. Frederick Treves, an expert in anatomy and renowned surgeon. During a show, Treves gave Merrick one of his business cards after he politely declined an examination. Contrary to David Lynch's 1980 Hollywood film, Merrick was well treated as an exhibit and paid handsomely for his time. According to Norman, Merrick was happy with his life as a sideshow freak, and when talking of the workhouse he had quit, he declared, "I don't ever want to go back to that place." It seemed Merrick was happy with his newfound job, being able to meet people, talk with them, and engage in interesting conversations with them. In 1886, a law was passed meaning human curiosity exhibits were to be outlawed in the United Kingdom. As a result, Merrick took his show on the road, travelling to Belgium to pursue work. There he was indeed mistreated and ultimately robbed and abandoned by his European promoter. He also contracted a severe bronchial infection, further complicated by his deformities. With little money and no contacts, he made his way to England. Upon his return to London, Merrick was involved in a disturbance at Liverpool Street train station, when his masked appearance and twisted body caused hysteria. Merrick was unable to speak due to his bronchial infection and had retained the business card of Dr. Treves, which he presented to authorities. Treves collected Merrick and took him to the Royal London Hospital, where he used his connections to secure Merrick his own basement apartment where, although his condition was incurable, he would be allowed to stay at for the remainder of his life. up until his death, Treves visited Merrick daily, and the pair developed a close friendship. In one instance, the pair visited the opera, where they enjoyed theatre from a sheltered private box, and Merrick even had the honour of meeting Queen Victoria and Princess Alexandra of Wales. Treves recalled that Merrick seemed quite content in his final years, writing that the one thing that always struck me as sad about Merrick was that he could not smile. He could weep, but he could not smile. Despite his physical deformities, Merrick had a sharp intellect and enjoyed the company of Treves and his high society friends. In his spare time, he developed hobbies he'd never previously been able to pursue, such as poetry and constructing cardboard structures which he would then give to the nurses as gifts. Sadly, Merrick died on the 11th of April 1890, aged 27. He was found laying on his back, and although the official cause of death was noted as asphyxia, Treves, who performed the post-mortem, found the cause of death was a dislocated neck. He believed that Merrick, who had to sleep sitting upright because of the weight of his head, had been attempting to sleep laying down to, as Merrick would put it, be like other people. Whether Merrick intentionally laid down on his back that night or whether he accidentally slumped over in his sleep, we'll never know for sure. But there we have it, the curious case of the Elephant Man, Joseph Merrick. His skeleton remains in a private room at Queen Mary's University of London's Medical School, where it's been on display in its own glass cabinet for almost 130 years. So, what do you think? Is it time he should be laid to rest once and for all? Let me know in the comment section below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's all we've got time for today, but I'll see you all next week, and remember, stay unusual as usual. If you've enjoyed this video, you might like this one too. If you want to see more anatomical oddities, you can check out the full playlist by clicking here. Don't forget to ring that bell to make sure you don't miss out on next week's video, and if you have any ideas on what the next episode should be about, make sure you add it to the comment section below.